In the quiet of the woods, where isolation is your only companion, the ordinary can quickly become extraordinary and terrifying. Picture yourself in a cabin secluded, surrounded by the unending whisper of the trees. The solitude, the eerie quiet breeds an uncanny sense of dread. The creaking of the wood, the rustling of the leaves all become ominous harbingers. It's in these places where the thin veil between reality and the macabre is pierced. Let us delve into these chilling tales where the woods hold secrets and fear takes hold. Our first tale takes us deep into the heart of a forest, where the whispers of the woods become a deafening scream. Picture this: a group of close-knit friends, their hearts filled with the thrill of adventure, set off on a journey to a cabin nestled in the dense woodland. This was their sanctuary, their escape from the mundane, a place where laughter echoed through the trees and camaraderie was woven into the fabric of the night. The first few days were a blissful blur of campfires, storytelling, and the innocent joy of companionship. But as the sun dipped behind the horizon on the third night, an unsettling chill began to creep over the cabin. The once comforting whispers of the woods took on a sinister tone. The rustling leaves seemed to carry a message, a warning that was felt more than heard. The friends shrugged off the eerie feeling, attributing it to the isolation and the primal fear of the unknown. Yet, as the night wore on, strange occurrences began to unfold. A window that had been securely fastened was found wide open, a cold breeze whistling through the gap. The crackling fire in the hearth, once robust and full of life, inexplicably died down to a feeble flicker. The laughter that once filled the cabin was replaced by a heavy silence, punctuated only by the ominous whispers of the woods. The climax of this chilling tale came with the discovery of a presence, a disturbing entity that seemed to be born from the heart of the forest itself. The friends were no longer alone in the cabin. They could feel it in the cold spots, hear it in the soft whispers, and see it in the flickering shadows. As they huddled together in the dim light, a sense of dread washed over them. Their sanctuary had become their prison. Their adventure had turned into a nightmare. In the silence of the forest, their laughter was replaced with screams, their smiles with terror. In our next story, a couple sought refuge in a cabin, only to find they were not its only inhabitants. Meet our unnamed couple who, seeking a break from the hustle and bustle of city life, decided to retreat to a quaint cabin nestled deep within the woods. Little did they know their idyllic getaway would soon turn into a nightmarish ordeal. On the first night, as the moon bathed the cabin in an eerie glow, the couple noticed a peculiar shadow dancing on the walls. It was formless, almost ghostly, appearing and disappearing at will, as if playing a macabre game of hide-and-seek. They laughed it off, attributing it to the flickering candlelight or the rustling trees outside. But the shadow had a different plan. As the nights rolled on, it began to take on a more distinct humanoid form. It moved with intent, creeping along the walls, lurking in corners, and casting a pall of dread over the once cozy cabin. The couple could no longer ignore its presence, their laughter replaced by a growing sense of unease. One chilling night, the shadow began to interact with the physical world. Objects moved of their own accord, doors slammed shut, and the air grew cold, sending shivers down their spines. The couple clung to each other, their eyes wide with terror as they watched the shadowy figure grow bolder, stronger, and more menacing. Their sanctuary had turned into a house of horrors. Sleep eluded them, their dreams invaded by the shadow's silent threats. The once inviting cabin now echoed with an oppressive silence, broken only by the couple's hushed whispers and the shadow's haunting movements. With each passing day, the couple's sanity began to fray at the edges. The shadow had not only invaded their cabin but also their minds, sowing seeds of fear that grew into towering trees of terror. They were trapped, not by the walls of the cabin, but by the shadow that had claimed it as its own. As the shadow grew, so did their fear, until it consumed the cabin and their sanity. Our final tale uncovers a forgotten diary, its pages filled with dread and despair. In the heart of the woods, a family stumbled upon a quaint cabin, an ideal setting for their vacation. Little did they know the cabin held more than just rustic charm, it harbored a chilling secret. As they settled in, they found an old dusty diary left behind by a previous occupant. A harmless relic of the past, they thought, a simple memento of those who had come before them. With the first page turned, curiosity turned into an eerie fascination. The diary belonged to a woman named Clara, who along with her family once called the cabin home. Her entries began as mundane, everyday musings, but as they read on, a sinister tale began to unfold. Clara wrote of strange noises in the night, of shadows that moved on their own, of a feeling of being watched. As the days in Clara's diary progressed, so did her fear. She wrote of her children's night terrors, of her husband's growing paranoia. The entries became desperate, filled with pleas for help that never came. The family's laughter turned into silence as they read Clara's haunting words, each line a testament to her escalating terror. The final entry was the most chilling. Clara wrote of her decision to leave, of her fear for her family's safety. But the diary ended abruptly, leaving an unsettling question. Did Clara and her family ever escape the cabin's grasp? They looked around their temporary home, now tainted with the echoes of Clara's fear. The cabin was no longer a charming retreat, but a tangible reminder of the terrifying ordeal of its previous occupants. In the end, the diary left them with more than just words. It imprinted an unshakable fear. They were left with the chilling realization that they were not alone in the cabin, that they were sharing it with the remnants of a horror that once unfolded within its wooden walls. These tales remind us of the unsettling truth that horror lurks where we least expect it. We've journeyed through the whispering woods, shadowed corners of the cabin, and the forgotten pages of a diary, each narrative revealing a chilling implication. Let's reflect on what we've unearthed. The whispering woods, where the rustling of the leaves was not the wind but the hushed conversations of unseen entities. It was not just a story of a haunted forest, but a stark reminder that isolation can amplify our fears, transforming the benign into the terrifying. Then there was the shadow in the cabin, an entity that lived in the dark corners, always lurking but never seen. It wasn't just a tale of a haunted cabin, but a narrative that played on our fear of the unknown. The shadow was a metaphor for those unexplained phenomena that we are too afraid to confront, those chilling questions that keep us awake at night. The forgotten diary, an artifact of a past terror, was not just a collection of horrifying entries. It was a symbol of our fear of forgotten horrors, the dread that our past can come back to haunt us. The diary served as a chilling reminder that sometimes, the most terrifying things are those that have been forgotten, only to resurface when we least expect it. These stories share common themes: isolation, fear, and the unknown. They remind us that horror does not always come in the form of monsters or ghosts. Sometimes it's the quiet, the solitude, the unanswered questions, and the forgotten past that can be the most terrifying. They remind us that the woods are not just a place of beauty and tranquility. They can also be a place of mystery and terror, a place where our darkest fears can come to life. In the solitude of the woods, in the quiet of the cabin, remember you are never truly alone. As we leave the haunting echoes of these woods behind, we carry with us a disturbing question. What is it about the unknown that sends a chill down our spine? Why do we fear what we cannot see, cannot touch, cannot comprehend? Is it because our minds are hardwired to fear the mysterious, the unexplained, the unseen? Or is it something more primal, a survival instinct that has been with us since the dawn of time? The stories we've shared today, these allegedly true accounts of horror and dread, are not just tales designed to frighten you. No, they serve a far more profound purpose. They're a stark reminder that fear, in its purest form, is not just an emotion. It's a visceral, palpable force that can creep up on you when you least expect it. Think about it. All it takes is a whisper in the woods, a shadow in the cabin, or a forgotten diary to send shivers down your spine and set your heart racing. These simple, everyday things take on a sinister quality, becoming harbingers of fear and unease. And as we step out of the eerie woods and back into the safety of our homes, we're left wondering, in the silence of the night, when you are alone, will you hear the whispers of the woods? Will you see the shadow in the cabin? Will you find the forgotten diary? Only the woods know.